Every moment of your cruise ship vacation counts, so I've got 9 things you should do as soon as you board your ship up next. Hey everyone, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. When you first step up on the gangway, there's going to be an overwhelming amount of new things to take in. New sights, sounds, even smells. Yeah, that Royal Caribbean smell, maybe it's just me, but I don't know. It just always smells the same. Anyway, the following hours when you first get on a ship are the most important of a cruise because they really set the tone for the entire vacation. If you don't do some things within your first few hours on board, you really just risk ruining your ideal cruise by simply wasting time later on. A mistake, however, during embarkation day could delay the ship from leaving port or cause you to lose your place at a specialty dining venue. From meeting your stateroom attendant to completing the muster drill, I came up with 9 things you should do as soon as you board the ship. Number 1, do the muster drill and find your muster station. So Royal Caribbean's e-muster allows you to do almost all of the safety briefing online. Anyone that goes on a cruise needs to do the safety briefing. It's similar to being on an airplane in which they tell you exactly what happens in case of an emergency, similar on a cruise ship. And when you get on board the ship, you need to go and complete that. Now, the good news is 2/3 of it you can do before you ever board the ship. On embarkation day, when you're in your hotel room or when you're in your lift driving over to the port, what you really want to do is go through the process then of going through the e-muster drill and getting the first 2 steps done. This involves listening to the emergency horn and watching the safety briefing video. Then, as soon as you actually board the ship, so you finally get through the gangway, you need to find your muster station and then check in there so you know where it is. A crew member will check you in, and that removes one of the most important things you can do and must do on embarkation day. Number 2, explore the ship. This is one of my favorite tips for getting yourself oriented to a new cruise ship. Especially on Royal Caribbean's larger vessels, such as the Oasis and Icon-class ships, you really should get a lay of the land right away. Start by exploring different neighborhoods or simply travel the decks from bottom to top and bow to stern. This will make your entire cruise go very smoothly. You'll know where to find activities and venues right away, and you won't become one of those lost souls staring desperately at the maps in front of the elevators. This is something I make an effort to do as soon as I get on board and really as soon as I finish the e-muster drill. Now, at the risk of giving you all a shameless plug, we do have ship tours here on our YouTube channel of many of the Royal Caribbean ships in the fleet if you want to get a preview of it. But truly, you've got to be able to see it for yourself. Once you actually visualize the ship and get on there and be able to get your bearings, it does make a big difference. Number 3, eat lunch. If you're ready for a bite to eat when you get on board, there are plenty of dining venues to try. For complimentary lunch, most people end up in the Windjammer, which is a buffet station and offers a lot of different food and drink options. There's certain to be a dish for everybody. It's really good for picky eaters, but it does get crowded around lunchtime on embarkation day. For less crowded complimentary venues, you can look for alternatives like Park Cafe or Cafe Promenade, Cafe Latitude, Sorrento's Pizza, or El Loco Fresh. Obviously, this depends on which ship you're on, but there's usually 1 or 2 or more other alternatives to the Windjammer in case you just want something simple to get and be on your way. Guests who have purchased the key can dine in the main dining room, where they'll receive a free specialty lunch from Chops Grill. Some specialty restaurants on board will also have their doors open for lunch on embarkation day. You won't need to make reservations beforehand for these specialty restaurants on embarkation day because these venues will usually be first come, first serve. Depending on your ship, you could eat at places like Playmakers or Sabor or Johnny Rockets, Giovanni's Table, James Italian, or even Chops. Number 4, check on your cabin. When I get on board a cruise ship, one of the first things I do is check the status of my stateroom. Not only do you get to tour the room while it's all clean and fresh, but you also can set down your carry-on bags instead of lugging them all around the ship. It's also worth going to your stateroom to check when it will open. Since staterooms are usually being cleaned from the last passengers who were on board, they aren't open right away when you first board. A sign will inform guests of when they can expect to access their staterooms, usually around 1 or 1:30 p.m. Once the staterooms are open, you can grab your SeaPass card outside the door and use it to enter. Just like at the airport, when you go straight to the gate to confirm its existence, checking on your stateroom is an essential task to when you can get on board a cruise ship. Number 5, change your clothes. Now that you've entered your clean stateroom, you'll also have a chance to change out of your travel clothes. As an example, Callista, who's one of our riders, usually wears long pants and sneakers for the boarding process, but when she gets on board the ship, she wants to change into shorts and sandals right away, get into that vacation mode, if you will. These travel clothes can get sweaty and dirty, and they can feel uncomfortable on board the cruise ship. Plus, don't forget, the pools are open. Maybe you want to go hit up the pools and water slides. This is your opportunity for that. Since your larger luggage usually won't be delivered at this point, bags arrive later in the afternoon, this is one reason why we also recommend that you pack a change of clothes and a swimsuit in your carry-on bag. Number 6, meet your stateroom attendant. On the first day of your cruise, you should make it a priority to meet your cabin attendant. Your cabin attendant is responsible for cleaning and restocking your cabin once a day, and actually twice a day for suites. Typically, they will stop by your stateroom on embarkation day to try to introduce themselves. They will ask what time you prefer to get your room cleaned, usually morning or evening time slots. I find this to be a really important opportunity on embarkation day because you'll want to choose a time that works for your schedule. Personally, I like having my room cleaned in the evening because that way when I go to bed, everything's ready and fresh and good to go. But there's nothing really wrong with having it done in the morning either. It's more of a personal preference thing. You can also request more towels or ice, maybe have your connecting balcony door opened or the internal connecting door open. Any other special requests, they can handle that as well. Also, don't forget to also learn their name. You can properly thank them for all the work they'll do. Number 7, make reservations. I put this at number 7 on the list. I'll be honest with you, I think I probably would do this a lot earlier in the list, maybe number 2 or 3, but I digress. But you should do it on embarkation day nonetheless, because if you purchase a specialty dining package, like the 3-night dining package, or Chops Plus One, or the unlimited dining package, you'll need to make your dining reservations when you get on board. You can go to any specialty restaurant to request reservations. So even if you want to go and make reservations for Chops, Jamie's, and Izumi, you can go to Jamie's and make reservations for the others. It's not a problem. Keep in mind your top picks and times you prefer to dine. My advice is come up with a list before you get on board the ship, maybe in the terminal or, again, in your hotel room. So that way you can just really rattle it off to them and they can put it in really easily. It's also a good idea to keep an eye out for different crew members who may be around on the Royal Promenade to help assist with reservations. Usually there's like a desk set up where it says especially restaurant reservations, and they can also make that an option for you. So really, whatever you find first works out. It's really important to do this because specialty restaurants can fill up fast, especially on Royal Caribbean's larger ships. And I really recommend you try doing this as soon as you board the ship so that it's early enough to get your desired reservations. When we were sailing on Wonder of the Seas, I had to rush back to book specialty dining as soon as I boarded and still had to be put on a wait list for Izumi Hibachi. Now, the good news is eventually this will all change because Royal Caribbean has announced that it'll be able to reserve specialty restaurants with a dining package via the Royal Caribbean app, but that was promised for earlier this year. Still hasn't happened, but at the time of this recording, it's still not available yet. However, we do expect it to come out at some point soon, hopefully this year. Anyhow, I'm just putting this out here as something that in case you're watching this video in 2025, hopefully this is no longer an issue, but something to keep in mind. Number 8 is really important if you want to avoid a bigger bill later on, and that is to switch your phone into airplane mode. Now that you're on board, don't forget to switch your phone into airplane mode to avoid a big bill. If you purchase Voom Wi-Fi, this is a great time to log in and get your devices set up. If not, you can connect to the free ship Wi-Fi, which allows you to access the Royal Caribbean app. Either way, you'll need to keep your phone on airplane mode as the ship begins to sail away from land. Keeping your phone on a cellular network will rack up insane roaming charges. So just make sure you put your phone into airplane mode before the cruise truly begins. Number 9, this is a really good idea, is to join the Sailway Party. With all the logistics taken care of, it's time for the cruise vacation to begin. Royal Caribbean ships will have a Sailway Party as the ship begins to leave shore. You can find information on the Royal Caribbean app or in the Cruise Compass, but it is usually in the early afternoon on the pool deck. A live DJ will play music while crew members encourage everybody to dance and party. Nearby bars will be open with waiters taking drink orders around the deck. It's really an infectious moment of fun and honestly the perfect way to set the tone for your cruise vacation. I may not get down there and do the wobble anymore, but I gotta admit it really sets the tone for the rest of the cruise and it's hard to go wrong with that kind of a start. So there you go, really important things you should do as soon as you board your Royal Caribbean cruise ship. Let me know in the comments below, what are some other things that we missed? Maybe some other important things you absolutely do every single time you board a cruise. Let me know down in the comments your top things to do. While you're now below our video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notifications. That way, YouTube lets you know of a brand new video to share. This has been Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and we'll talk again real soon.